History of Israeli cuisine. Israel's culinary beginnings can be found as far back as 1000 years BCE, where the main foods were made from produce known as the seven species. These included olives, figs, dates, pomegranates, wheat, barley, and grapes. Beginning with the Zionist Aliyah in 1881, Sephardic Jews and Ashkenazi Jews rejected the practices they were raised with and developed their own culinary practices, beginning to utilize local produce, especially vegetables like zucchini, peppers, eggplant, or baigan, melangine, artichoke, and probably our shared favorite, chickpeas, also known locally as chana. Israel isn't only known for being the homeland of the Jewish people, they also have a rich culture and diverse customs. Modern Israeli cuisine, like so many others, is not only influenced by its indigenous people, but by immigrants from all walks of life and from all around the world. Similarly, Trinidadian cuisine comes as a result from the settling of many different countries and peoples over the course of our history. Their cuisine is made up of vastly different dishes and spices, which we are going to discuss today. The most well-known dishes are always the more popular dishes. But why don't we take a look deeper into Israel and see some of the traditional food that needs more of this recognition? Just like when talking of Trinidad and Tobago, everyone knows of doubles and roti, but I've never heard stories about waking up on a cool morning to a plate of baigan choka and sada roti. This is because it isn't nearly as popular as the other foods. So let's try to put an end to only knowing mainstream foods and learn more about the delectable cuisine of Israel. Shakshuka. Shakshuka is a Jewish and Arab Tunisian breakfast dish of which eggs are the main character. It consists of eggs poached in tomato sauce, olive oil, garlic, onion, and peppers, typically spiced with cumin, paprika, and cayenne pepper, but every vendor had their own special recipe that they claimed to be the best. The only way to know for sure is to try them all, right? Just like other dishes that emerged from struggles, so did shakshuka. When people started to migrate to Israel from North African countries, they carried many financial struggles with them, and this affordable dish began to rise in popularity. Israel made this food a sensation when the Tunisian Jews came to Israel in the 1950s. Later, in the 1990s, it became even more popular. Now it's in coffee shops all around Israel. Me'arav Yerushalmi, Jerusalem Mixed Grill. Jerusalem Mixed Grill, or Me'arav Yerushalmi, is made of chicken hearts, chicken livers, chicken spleens, ground lamb fat with onions and garlic, and an array of spices. It's usually served inside pita bread as a sandwich or accompanied with salad or hummus. This dish takes the parts of the animal that normally would be thrown away and transforms it into something amazing, just like Trinidadians and tripe. Tripe is the intestines of cow or sometimes goat. It is cleaned and cooked, which can be done in many different ways, like in a soup or even curried. Me'arav Yerushalmi is said to be made in Jerusalem's Machana Yehuda market, yet there is an argument about whether the owners of the restaurant named Makam, Mr. Piro, and his partner Gideon Amiga, or a rival steakhouse called Hatzot, were the actual inventors of this now staple dish. Borekas. It has origins in Asia as a deep-fried dumpling known as burger. When the Turks moved to Turkey, they brought this dish with them from Central Asia. Sephardic Jews who settled in Turkey took it and fused it with their version of the dish, empanada. And that mixture of dishes is what we know as boreka. It is a pastry with many different versions, depending on the type of dough used, whether it be puff pastry or brick pastry or phyllo dough, which is used in many Arabic dishes. The shapes have a correlation with what the filling of the boreka is. Triangle borekas ordinarily contain dairy products, while circle or square borekas have non-dairy products. Israeli couscous, better known as pititim in Israel, is an orb-shaped grain with heavy Israeli origins. It was very important in the early development of Israel. When the state was newly founded, the people had to ration food. So the then Prime Minister gave one of the largest food manufacturers a chance to create a cheap starch which anyone would be able to purchase. The product kept on evolving until it reached the small pearl shapes one can see today, which has a resemblance to maftul, the hand-rolled Palestinian couscous made from bulgur wheat. It then became a traditional dish in Israel, like many other foods born out of necessity. Knafe is a dessert commonly enjoyed in the Middle East, with variants found also in Turkey and Greece. It consists of a base of melted goat or sheep's cheese topped with crunchy, sweet pastry noodles called kadaf and finally drizzled with a sweet, heavy syrup called ater, which is usually made with rose water and sugar. Knafe can differ greatly dependent on the country you're in. Now let's go to the more well-known mainstream dishes of Israel. Hummus. This dish has taken the world by storm, with many people having tasted hummus at least once in their life. With the rise of veganism, there is no question why it's becoming more popular every day. Just like many dishes, its origin causes a bit of an uproar, with Israel, Lebanon, Egypt, and Greece all claiming to be the creator of the dish. Israel turns to the Bible to prove that it's theirs by showing a verse in the book of Ruth where chometz is mentioned. Yet modern Hebrew translates chometz to mean vinegar, which could disprove this theory. Regardless of its exact origin, hummus is a vital part of Eastern Mediterranean, Levantine, and Middle Eastern cuisine. It is traditionally served with whole chickpeas, a drizzle of olive oil, and some paprika, and eaten with pita bread. However, a simple trip to anywhere in the Middle East, and even the US, will open your eyes to the possibilities of this food. Falafel. Although it is commonly argued that falafel has its origins in Alexandria, Egypt, which was one of the biggest ports of ancient times, many countries, including Israel, claim it as their own. What is not disputed, however, is that falafel is simply delicious. While the original falafel was made from fava beans, today it is most commonly made from a wonderful blend of ground chickpeas and various herbs and spices such as dill, cilantro, parsley, cumin, coriander, and cayenne pepper. It is then formed into small balls and deep fried until they achieve a beautiful golden brown crust. They are usually served in a warm pita bread or laffa with many toppings, including pickles, tahini, spicy sauce, Israeli salad, and even fries or chips as they're called in Israel. In Israel, falafel vendors are so proud of their food, they may insist you stop and try one hot on the spot, but it's unlikely you'd only stop at one. This dish is found all over Trinidad and Tobago in Arabian restaurants and even American restaurants which were inspired by Arabian foods. Falafel may remind you of a similar fried dish we have here in Trinidad, the widely enjoyed pilori. Pilori, like falafel, is a fried dish commonly served with flavorful sauces, but pilori is made from ground split peas as opposed to chickpeas. Piloris are usually served with various chutneys made from either mango or tamarind, shado beni sauce, and pepper sauce. Shawarma. Shawarma begins with thinly sliced spiced veal, turkey, or lamb stacked and slow roasted on a giant skewer rotisserie style. To prepare a shawarma, one would cut thin slices of meat off of the rotisserie and brown them on a hot grill. The meat is then rolled up in a warm pita or laffa and topped with pickles, salad, tahina, spicy sauce, eggplant, fries, and amber, a mango sauce. Both shawarma and gyros are derivatives of a dish from the Ottoman Empire known as doner kebab. Gyros are Greek in origin but have amassed popularity on the Trinidadian street food scene and can be seen served almost everywhere. Although the gyro which we eat today will differ from a traditional Greek gyro or gyro because the Arabs who came to Trinidad and Tobago and joined the culinary market had to change their recipes in ways which better fit our Caribbean lifestyles and cooking habits. This has proved quite successful. Some of the more popular spots are on The Cross, a section of Lady Hales Avenue in Crossing San Fernando, and The Avenue, Ariapita Avenue in Port of Spain. Gyros in Trinidad differ from shawarma in that they can include many different meats, including beef, chicken, pork, lamb, and in some places even have gyro shrimps. The toppings are also different because they consist of green salad, cabbage or lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes, pineapple, and even cheese. Sauces served with gyros in Trinidad are usually ketchup, garlic sauce, pepper sauce, and some places even offer an Arabic sauce. Pita and laffa. With the immigration of Iraqi Jews into Israel in the 19th century, their methods of baking also came with them. Thus, laffa bread was created, a fluffy flatbread baked in coal or wood-fired ovens similar to pita. Today, Israeli shops and bakeries serve a variety of sourdough breads, pita, and even bagels, but laffa is usually the first choice for people eating falafel, shawarma, and sabich. Similarly, here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have sada roti, which is a type of flatbread made with flour and eaten with most dishes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This type of roti, along with our other favorites, basap shots and dal puri, came from the Indian subcontinent, brought to Trinidad by indentured laborers after the end of slavery in the mid-19th century. Olia must be hungry now. You have just heard about some Israeli foods, and now that you possess the history and knowledge, we hope that you go. Go to Israel and try all of these dishes. Israel is full of a rich history, as mentioned, and we should be open-minded to try new things. Don't settle for what everyone else knows of and consumes. Dig deeper and become immersed in this wonderful cuisine that Israel has to offer.